Hello, I'm your host, Doug Smith, for Portsmouth This Week, and today is the 8 September edition. Our special guest today is Portsmouth Police Officer Jimmy Francis. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
That's good. Jimmy's a member of the Portsmouth Police Department and also the Portsmouth Police Association, and our topic is the upcoming Police Association fundraiser at Glen Manor House.
Yes.
This is on 22 September, and I thought we'd tell people what it's all about today and show them why they should buy tickets for this.
Sure.
First, perhaps we could talk about the PPA itself. Mm-hmm. Can you tell a little bit about the organization and how many people it has and what you guys do?
Yep. So the PPA stands for the Portsmouth Police Association. It's a nonprofit organization. There's a board, consists of Sergeant Burns, who's the president, myself as the vice president, is also a treasurer, it's Officer DeGuano. We have several other members throughout the town, as well as in the police department. It's roughly 12 members right now. We'd like to expand if we can. It's open to everybody. You don't have to be, an officer in Portsmouth or anywhere. What we do is it's community-based. It's something to help us connect with the community policing. We've been involved with the Special Olympics with Officer Peary. She's the liaison for us, the Portsmouth Police Association, the Portsmouth Police Department in terms of the Special Olympics. We're hoping to help Officer Sullivan, does a great job with the toy drive every year, give him some support so he doesn't have to stress out about it as much all himself every year.
Yeah.
So we're really hoping to do a lot of good things with it. We've kind of, I know the PPA was established, quite a few years ago. It's kind of gone by the wayside. So this year is the first year we're kind of bringing it back. We want to do a lot of things to, give back to the community as best we can. That for now.
And it's also a way that the community can help support you guys.
Sure. We'd love for them to join, to come out. It's a great way to meet everybody, to get in town. I'm not originally from Portsmouth, so it's been a great way to meet people. So.
Yeah. Now, how do people join? Can they stop in the police station?
Sure, they can stop at the police station. Hopefully they'll attend the event, the bailout, on September 22nd.
Yep.
We have bumper stickers, T-shirts. We're always looking for support in terms of the toy drive, the Special Olympics, the torch run, different things of that nature. So, if anybody's willing to join and help out with different things going on, we're always looking. So.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm hoping you'll get a lot of folks interested in this now that people know about it.
Yeah, me too.
Let's talk a little bit about the purpose of the fundraiser. To begin with, it's on 22 September.
Yep.
At Glen Manor House.
It is.
And what are the hours?
5:30 to 8.
5:30 to 8.
Yep.
And what is the purpose of the fundraiser? What are you raising funds for?
So the purpose of this fundraiser, we're hoping to first of all let the Portsmouth public know that we have a ballot coming up with hopefully everybody will support the new police station. We're in desperate need of a police station at this point.
Yeah.
Our building, unfortunately, is failing. I've been there 3.5 years. It's I've seen it deteriorate in that time. So this fundraiser is to help us let everybody know, hey, this is going to be on the ballot. We'd appreciate your support. We're gonna help go around before the vote. Hopefully, go door to door. We're doing pamphlets, lawn signs, bumper stickers,
yeah.
T-shirts, whatever we can do to help get the word out and let everybody know that this is going on.
Yeah. So essentially, you're going to use the funds to publicize the need for the new police station.
Yes.
That's great. And
that was my roundabout way of putting it. Yeah.
No, absolutely, that was fine. And frankly, I think one of the best tools you guys have is just bringing people down for a tour of the facility.
Absolutely.
They see how ridiculously inadequate the current one is.
Yes. So if anybody's interested, if you're listening out there, you can always call the station, schedule a tour. We do Tuesday tours, but listen, if Tuesday doesn't work for you, I'll come down, the chief, the deputy chief, any officers in the station. We'll take you around, show you around. One, it's a pretty cool thing to do with the family. The kids love seeing it. Go out to eat after that. But yeah, I think it's pretty shocking to a lot of people when they come in and check it out and see what the situation is inside.
We did a show down there, and it was unbelievable to me that we have you guys working in these kind of conditions.
Yeah.
In the 21st century,
It's crowded, to say the least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on, in the station. and unfortunately, just the building's just out of date at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got more people than when the place was originally designed and everything else. We're going to talk more about the building, I think, later on with Chief Lee. He'll come down and maybe we'll go through some of the needs and how they
Sure.
plan to take care of that. Let's talk about the fundraiser itself. What's been planned for this so far?
Well, it's going to be a silent auction event. We have plenty of great stuff to bid on, from signed David Ortiz bat in baseball, Red Sox tickets, Mike Schmidt signed baseball, plenty of golf outings, carts included. We have all kinds of stuff. Helicopter tours, a lot of places in town, local businesses have been gracious enough to help us out with donations. It's going to be catered by Blackstone Catering, and they've been great. They've helped us a ton. So it'll be good food. Abbey Road's going to be providing live entertainment, so that they're gracious enough to come help us out. Greenvale provided wine for the event. We'll also have beer available as well. It's going to be open bar. So it should be a good time, We're really hoping to have a good turnout. A lot of police officers from the station will be there, so it's a good way to meet everybody. It's a good way for us to meet the community, and we're just, we're hoping, it has a good turnout. Everybody's excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to do a couple things. One, if people haven't been down to Glen Manor House, this is a town facility.
Yeah. Oh, I skipped right over it. It's
Absolutely
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity to go see that, but also a chance to meet you guys, the guys that are out there protecting us, and girls.
Yeah. Yep.
Are out there protecting us, and also just have a good time,
Yeah. It should be awesome. So
I understand.
everybody's looking forward to it.
Well, I think it's great, because I think a lot of people would just like to meet you folks, one-to-one. And I understand there's going to be a 50-50 cash raffle.
Oh, yes. Yep. And so you'll be able to purchase tickets for the raffle as well.
Yeah.
So you should be able to do that throughout the night. Eventually, at some point, I'm sure we'll close close being able to buy it. But we'll have prizes that we're raffling off as well. So it's going to be a good time. Everybody will have a chance to bid on something.
Yeah.
The prizes with the raffle. Like I said, the food and the drink is included all in the tickets. So it's going to be good.
Yeah. We can't mention the price on air, but it's well worth it.
Okay.
And now, where do people get tickets?
They can stop in right at the police station. There's tickets at the front desk. Let them know that you're there to purchase the ticket, and they'll take care of you right there. We also have a Facebook page, the Portsmouth Police Association. If you send a message there or a post, I'll get you tickets, and I can go to you if need be. It's not a big deal. So whatever works, whatever's easiest for people. You want to stop in, you want to call, you want to message us on Facebook, whatever works.
Yeah, I might mention there are some volunteers out there with tickets as well.
Yes. Yep.
So
they should be all around town at this point, I hope.
That's great, because we got to keep publicizing this thing. As I say, I think it's a great opportunity to meet you guys and to see this great venue we have in town.
Yeah.
And a little bit further, I've seen most of these donations that are going for the silent auction, and there's a lot of tremendous things in there. Things like a 4-hour fishing cruise, like you say, a helicopter tour. There's a bunch of stuff out there, and there are services from local vendors, gift certificates for food, et cetera, from local restaurants. And I think it shows that the whole community is trying to help out with this thing. And so I think it'll be very successful. Now, Chief Lee will be there.
Yep.
We expect any VIPs from anywhere to show up?
At this point, we're not sure. We're working on it. We'll see what happens. But the chief will definitely be there, deputy chief. A lot of the police staff will be there. Many of them are just attending the event because it's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
they're not necessarily there working. They're there enjoying themselves.
Yeah, well, that's what they should be doing.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'll be there
You're
working. I will be working.
Yeah, well, so am I.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. You'll be there with me. We'll be schlepping around. But, it's going to be fun. We're really excited about it.
That's great. Now, just tell me, how long have you been planning this and working on this?
Actually, you know what? You could probably answer this better than I could, but at least 4 or 5 months at this point.
Well, I remember the
6
first
months.
meeting we had was probably 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, and I know it was kind of, brought up a little bit, but it really started going, I think, the second meeting that we had. But at least 4 or 5 solid months, and I got my fingers crossed, but I'm hoping it turns out well. And so far, so good. We've sold tickets, we've secured the donations, and I'm just hoping everybody who comes out has a good time. I want everybody to enjoy it. So.
Yeah, well, I think they will, and I think they're they also should know they're doing this for a good cause. And one of the things is we want to have informed voters. And I think the best way a voter can make a decision on, I think the building's going to cost $10 million or something, whatever it is. But I understand it's not going to cause any increase in our tax rate because we're retiring some other debt. So it's a perfect time to do this. We need for the future, and I applaud you guys for trying to pull this thing together. And we'll be taking a look. You have a poster.
We do.
Somebody came up with a great name for this event called the Portsmouth Police Bailout.
Yeah.
If we could show that on the monitor, perhaps. It's talks about where you can get tickets, the date, etc., and something that's well worth going to. Jimmy, I'd like to thank you a lot for joining us, and I wish you the very best. I'll be down there working with you, and hopefully we'll get this done. People will then eventually, if they go through the tours, they'll see why a new building is needed. And this new building, the design I've seen so far, looks like it's really got a lot of stuff that's good for the community as well.
Yes. Yep.
So I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
And thanks for keeping us safe. And we'll see you down there at Glen Manor House.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me on.
Welcome back to the 8 September 2016 edition of Portsmouth This Week. Our guest for this part of the show is Galen McGovern, Portsmouth Wastewater Manager. Welcome back to the show, Galen.
Thank you. I think this is my third visit.
I know, you must feel like we're picking on you or something.
Well, it's a hot topic right now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, it usually is. Yeah, it's interesting because just about a year ago, the 21st of September, the town council signed the ordinance, or passed the ordinance. And that will essentially require everybody in Portsmouth at some point to have their wastewater system inspected and replaced if necessary. So that's what we have to look at going forward.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions going on. Just what you said, people don't realize everybody in town has to have an inspection and a pump out. I had somebody come in today talking about the 200 feet. I'm not within 200 feet. I don't have to do anything. Well, what they're getting confused with is some of the old, the DEM cesspool phase out. Basically, the town ordinance, just what you said, everybody has to have an inspection and a pump out, regardless of their location. The other confusing thing we get is people come in, I've had a new system put in, I have a conforming system, as if they don't have to do anything. Everyone has to have a pump out and inspection. So even if you have a newer system, once you're on the time frame, if you have it inspected for a conventional system, you won't have to do it again for 5 years. If you have a cesspool, you have to do it every 2 years till they're replaced. Yeah. Holding tanks have to get inspected every year.
Okay, so they have different
timetables. Yeah.
Holding tanks, who would have a holding tank? Would this be somebody that had no space for a septic system or something?
Well, that space could be an issue, but typically they're right on the water.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a failing system, of course it needs to get replaced. So somebody that's had a failing system, they're right on the water, it's a very tight lot, or the soils are inadequate, may have to
there's no leaching field for...
No space for a leach field.
Yeah.
So there are, I would say, probably less than 10 holding tanks in town, but there are holding tanks in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about the other kinds in a second. The first areas of town, I think, to be inspected were in the Island Park area. Where are we now on that?
Well, the first areas to be inspected, and of course I forgot the map, but all the maps are up on the town website.
Yeah.
We're about halfway through Island Park, and we've done a portion of Portsmouth Park also. So by next summer, Island Park and Portsmouth Park, all the inspections will be completed. I brought the actual numbers. Out of 444 letters that have gone out in Island Park and Portsmouth Park, we have, now this changes daily. You know, the data gets updated daily, but we have about 275 inspections that have taken place, so about 65%. Now, it's a little misleading because some people, instead of, if they know they have a cesspool or they know they have a problem, they go right to replacing it and they skip the inspection altogether. But yeah, not too bad. We're catching up. You know, like I said, some people have misconceptions. They ignore the letter, or so eventually, you know, we'll get everybody to inspect and pump out.
Okay, so that's how people will, in different neighborhoods, will know that their time is up to have it inspected when they get a letter from the town.
They get a letter from the town. They have 60 days to have their inspection and pump out. We have a list of, I think, almost 35 inspectors to choose from. Did I say they have 60 days already? I think I did. And then, of course, if they don't do it, then they get one of our, you know, nastier letters. They get a notice of violation, but they still have time. You know, even if they get a notice of violation, they have 30 days. And then if for some reason they're ignoring that, we have started summoning people to municipal court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it seems to me that the town is being very civil about this. They're not out to grab, you know, make examples of people or punish them or anything. They're just trying to.
Well, we're trying to get compliance. People have been fined in municipal court. They have been charged court costs. But, for example, I had somebody come in today who has a cesspool. It's failing. We get a lot of tales of woe in the office. Can't afford to replace it. We do have a 1% loan program to help people out. We do have a program with Church Community Housing if people are low income or elderly. But yeah, people are in a tough spot. I mean, it's tough for people that truly can't afford it if you have a failing system. So far, yeah, we've been civil and really aiming to work with people.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I think it kind of shows that we're all in this thing together here, you know.
Right.
I've seen a couple of recent articles in the paper about you, and it seems like you're out and about. Do you actually get involved in the inspections yourself, or just certain kinds? Or?
If I get a complaint called in, I'll go out and see if I think it's a failing system.
Now, who would complain? Who typically?
Neighbors.
Really?
Neighbors tattling on neighbors.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's a nuisance. You know, they smell something, there's surface water coming out off the backyard. So neighbors, and they all want to be anonymous.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So it's kind of a way to get back at people, you know.
So I'll go out and check on complaints. I mean, recently there was articles in the paper. We decided to set the example and inspect all the town systems. And we completed most of them. They've been maintained regularly, annually, pumped.
These are like the town hall, DPW.
Right, the town beach, Glen Farm, senior center. All were in good shape, although the town beach, you know, a lot of debris in that septic system. So we're going to talk about some of that in a little while, I guess, the do's and don'ts. But
yeah, okay. You know, the program continues. I mean, it's ongoing, and I understand, as you say, it's not just inspection. All septic systems have to be pumped out at some point?
Well, initially, you know, that's
Is that part of the inspection process? Or?
The first time, the first maintenance inspection includes a pump out. After that, you're really just pumping as needed. So the ordinance says once the solids in the tank are basically a third of the tank, you need to pump out.
Okay, now they can tell us how. They put a,
They can measure, there's a device you put in to measure the sludge and the scum in the tank.
okay. And that's the stuff that gets pumped out, I guess.
Well, the whole tank gets pumped out,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, what we just did at the town hall, the inspector, the pumper we went around with said, and this is good advice for homeowners, if your pumper doesn't have a shovel and they're not scraping the bottom, they're not doing a good job. So
Yeah.
to get all the solids out, you got to stir up the bottom a little bit.
Now, typically, and I guess I don't know too much about this stuff, but typically, what does the access look like for a normal home septic system? I mean, from what you're talking about, it's something pretty big that they can get things down there to work.
Well, yeah, there could be a manhole cover quite big,
Okay.
2.5 feet across, usually cement, but the newer systems have these Kelly green covers. You've seen those. Most of the systems nowadays have risers, so they're at the ground surface, so they can be accessed, but a lot of times if people haven't
Checked it in a
pumped
while.
their system
Yeah.
or checked it, they don't know where it is, so it requires digging.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, we'll have a plan in the town hall to help locate. Once you know where it is, remember that spot.
X marks the spot would be
Right.
a good idea. Well, I think in our case, we would go back to the guy that did it last. He would know where all this stuff is. I know generally where some part of it is, and maybe that's where they access it.
Right, I mean, at least you can get an indication. You can go, if you have a basement, you can see where the waste pipe goes out and find the general direction. That's a start. And
Yeah.
then
Well, as I
if
say,
there's
this
no
guy,
plan,
this guy's pumped it before, so
Yeah.
he would hopefully know.
You poke
He's
poke
one
around.
of your vendors, I think, on the list
Mm-hmm.
probably. Okay, so essentially, what happened? What's going to happen to everybody? You get noticed. You get a notice in the mail. You got 60 days, did you say, to
Mm-hmm.
respond to that notice by getting your system inspected. Does the person the septic system person who inspects this, do they send a report into the town?
That's right. They actually enter the results in our database. So if everything goes according to plan, you have your system inspected, the data's entered, and you're good for another, depending on the system, another 5 years or another year. So I'm not in touch with people that are really on top of it and doing what they're supposed to do. We're only sending letters and notifications to people that really aren't doing it, or for the first time that they need to have their inspection and pump out.
Yeah. Getting back, you mentioned people going to municipal court. So they would get like a summons or something in the mail, or how does that work? How do they get called?
They
to
get
court?
a summons in the mail. This is, of course, is after a few months where they haven't done what they're supposed to do. But
Okay.
yeah, they get a summons in the mail for the court date, and we've had about 20, which sounds like a lot, but over the 6 months we've had about 20 individual cases in the court. And I think I did a quick calculation. That's probably only, 4% of the people, but yeah, we'd
That
like
have been
to-
inspected so far.
Yeah, we like to get that lower. We don't want to bring people to court, and we're aiming for compliance. So that's why we have the court, so people will comply.
Okay, let me get back to this just for a second. So you send this, they get this notice in the mail. Now, if they don't respond in 60 days, do you send another letter out?
No,
or-
we send the notice of violation at
Okay.
that time.
Now, is that a letter?
Well, it's a letter of sorts, but yeah,
Okay.
it's a.
Well, but I mean, let's say that they're telling the truth when they say they didn't get the original.
Well, a lot,
notification.
I was going to say that. If I had $1 for every time I've heard, I never got the letter.
Yeah,
But, you know, like I said, we work with people. If people communicate and call, and that's the main thing. If you get a letter and you misplaced it or really didn't get it, call or come in the office and we'll work it out.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's a great attitude, and that's the attitude I would hope that our town administration would have, is, you know, we're here to help you guys.
Right.
And it's something that's good for the whole community. Do you have an idea about what percentage of homes in town have been inspected so far? Probably a small percent, right?
Well, it's that same number, because I looked it up to prepare for the program. We've only done, and I quoted that number earlier, what was it? Let's say 275 systems or more have been inspected.
Okay.
So it's only, you know, less than 5% of the town so
and we
far.
got like 7,000
We
households,
have
or-
probably 6,800 systems to inspect,
Yeah.
so. But one of the things I really wanted to get to before we
Yes, please.
finish is the do's and don'ts for your septic system.
Okay.
So what would you say? What shouldn't you do to your system?
I would guess you don't pour, you know, like flammables or anything down the drain that can't be leached out into the ground. I've always wondered about disposals, where people used to throw old food and garbage down there and
Right.
flush them out. We still can't do that now, can we?
Well, just what you said, harsh chemicals are very bad for the systems. I don't know, I don't have a food disposal.
Well, I don't think many people do now, but
Those really add to the solids in the tank, so that's not a great
Yeah.
idea. Wipes are very bad for systems. If you had a sewer, they're even bad for sewage treatment plants. Really, only toilet paper and the human waste should go down there. No fats, no chemicals. So it's pretty easy, really, when you think about it. But the other thing people can do to help out their system is just keep water use to a minimum. You know, excess water use can stir up the system,
Yeah.
and some of the solids can get out to the leach field
now,
and
how often
cause a
should they be
problem.
pumped normally, would you say?
I'd say typical is every 3 to 5 years. But one of the things I forgot to mention was when we were at the Sandy Point Beach, sanitary products. You know, that's a no-no, not to
Yeah,
flush those down
sure.
the toilet.
Well, everybody should know that anyway.
Right.
I'd just like to reiterate what you said earlier, that if people want to understand better what the issues are and how we're dealing with it, go on the town website and go on the
Right.
wastewater page.
Right.
Galen, thanks very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
And thank you. We'll see you next time.
It's time for the 42nd Annual Harvest Fair at the Norman Bird Sanctuary, Saturday and Sunday, October 1st and 2nd, with something for the whole family, old-fashioned fun, crafters and artisans, the Monkey Bridge, the Mud Pit, and the Mabel's Express Barrel Train. Hope to see you there.